when someone gives you criticism, especially when it's somebody close to you, someone you love, and they give you a lot of criticism, they rain down on you, heap down on you a whole bunch of criticism. So what do? So what I want to tell you today is that you have options. It's a very amazing thing. You actually have options. When somebody throws criticism at you, you have options. I'm identifying over here 5 options that we'll talk about. Option number 1 is you criticize right back. They criticize you, you give it right back to them, right? Best form of defense is counterattack, right? What do you mean? You're the right? You give it right back to them. That's option number 1. Very popular option. Option number 2 is you defend yourself. Right? You get criticized? No, it wasn't me, it was somebody else. I didn't do that, I didn't mean it, it was only the first time. Don't be so hard, it wasn't like this, it wasn't like that. You're wrong with this detail, you're wrong with that detail. Right? You defend yourself. That's option number 2. Now these 2 options are the most popular options when you get criticized. You either criticize right back or you defend yourself. But there's another 3 options that you have over here. Let's talk about the 3 options. Option number 3 is you withdraw. It's kind of a form of defense, really, isn't it? I mean, you kind of just like close up and you just like let him do it, right? And then you say something like, okay, you're done, right? Or maybe you walk out of the room or something like that. Okay, withdrawing. That's actually probably the 3rd most popular of the options too. Here's option number 4 and 5, which are really quite interesting. And these are the ones that I want you to think about today. Option number 4 is listen with compassion. Now, first of all, sometimes when somebody's being critical, or it could be they're in a bad mood, they got up the wrong side of bed in the morning, could be all kinds of things happen to them that day, you don't know. But if somebody's getting really critical like that, in a way they're suffering. So you're listening with compassion. And you're getting interested in what they're doing, you're getting interested in their experience, getting interested in their story. It's their experience of you, okay? They're experiencing something that's giving them difficulty and pain, and you're listening to that. In other words, it's the opposite of withdrawing. Instead of withdrawing, you're very, very present, and you're listening to what's going on, and you're trying to understand, right? You're not asking questions to annoy them. You're asking maybe a couple of clarification questions here and there, but you're not feeling like personally under attack. It's quite tricky to do, but you can do it. Remember the thing we talked about before about listening. You're kind of listening like you're a newspaper reporter. You're listening like you're going to write a story about this person, their experience, and what it is that they're finding so difficult about me, and all of that kind of stuff, okay? That's option number 4. Very interesting option. Option number 5, also very interesting option, is to find the grain of truth. Usually when somebody is critical of you, it might be overblown and very exaggerated, but there's a little grain of truth. Okay, so let's say, I don't know, like let's say my wife says to me something like, you never help in the house, you never help with the kids, you never do anything to help. Okay, so maybe that's an exaggeration, right? Because I do help, okay? And I could start arguing and say, no, I do help. Look, I did this and I did that and I did something else, right? I do help. You see, you're wrong. I could say that. That's kind of defending myself, right? That's option number 2. But in option number 5, I find the grain of truth. So, maybe there's things that I could or should be doing that I'm not doing, and I'll use the criticism to identify those things and talk about them and say something like, in that example, I'll say something like, yeah, you know what? I really should be helping more. There's really, there are things that I could be doing that I'm not doing, and I really should be doing better. In other words, you identify the grain of truth, and you address the grain of truth without making an argument out of it, but you address the point where you know that that criticism is true. And then you use that as an opportunity to work and improve and get better. So now you know that you have options. And if you didn't know that before, you know that now. If you did know that before, so good. It's very important knowledge, and it's something that you can go ahead and work on, and it can be very transformative.